Concord is shut down. That's crazy. Gaming industry is doing well, huh? Very, very well. It's they how much did this cost? 50 trillion. They made another live service action game and they decided to shut it down like immediately. 8 years of development, 2 weeks of game time. That's crazy. Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback. We're ceasing sales immediately and closing the game. Nice. Tax write-off scheme? No. It just massively underperformed. It had 660 peak players. It might actually be one of the greatest gaming flops of all time in terms of investment. And man, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. They speedrun closing it down. It's crazy. The gaming industry is cooked. Finance guys make all the decisions. So they're like, yeah, you know, the big money right now is in live service game models. So we're just going to gun for that and hope it works out. Anyone been playing Diablo 4 lately? If the answer is yes, then your mind is cooked. You're trash. Nah, I played D4. I know it's shit. As long as you know it's shit. As long as you know it's shit. Diablo 2 is better than 4. Diablo 3 is better than 4. By a pretty significant margin. Everybody just wants to make a damn live service game, you know? This is wild. I feel bad. Can you imagine being like one of the devs on this game who were just thanklessly toiling away at some element of it that was competently managed, but it doesn't even matter because at the end of the day, it was flawed from the beginning. Like if you were just doing art assets or basic coding work or whatever. It was in development for 8 years. It was the studio's first game. I love to open with a live service game, you know? 4% of users like this video game. That's crazy. Players speedrunning the game to get the most achievements before the shutdown. When you have games that are almost like finance bros are at the top, you basically guarantee occasional outcomes like this. It's like that old adage about Hollywood, you know? A Western movie does well, so Hollywood executives don't think, oh, good movies do well. Instead, they think Westerns do well. Pirates of the Caribbean did well, so they don't think, oh, good movies do well. They think, oh, pirate movies are in, you know? They're always chasing trends. A lot of them don't really believe in quality, and they don't really believe in the art of movie making or game making or whatever else. They just think of it as like a series of tropes or attributes that shift with time, and as long as you follow the market, you make the money. The thing is, the game doesn't look half bad. It really never mattered how good the game was because people don't play live service games because they're good or bad. They play them because other people are playing them. They play them because their friends are playing them. The actual quality of the game is secondary, tertiary, maybe. It barely even matters. People aren't playing Fortnite as much as they're playing Fortnite because of Fortnite's quality. They're playing Fortnite as much as they're playing Fortnite because everybody else is playing Fortnite. It's a shared social space that everyone else can jump into. When you make live service games, you're basically like hinging the success of your product on the ability for you to not only make a good game that is popular, but that will become a dominant space that people continue to play and engage with. And you cannot guarantee that. It's like making a new social media platform, you know? People aren't using Twitter over Threads or Blue Sky because they're super committed to the UI or interface of Twitter or whatever. They're doing it because the people are on Twitter. That's it. Live service games are basically FOMO monetized. I think they should be illegal. I think that games where it's like, oh, every week tune in to get your like weekly roll on the thingy, I think that these should be made illegal. I mean it like it should be criminal to make them. Any system where you are basically like put on a schedule for playing it, you might have to work around this a little bit because obviously I don't think Stardew Valley should be illegal. You know, I don't think it should be like, oh, you missed your crop like harvesting date, you're cooked. You know, I don't think that should like get people arrested. Maybe. But there's definitely a version of this that's serviceable. Making updates illegal? God willing, one day. They should be illegal, but not mine. I don't like Stardew Valley. I just mean I think there's a very predatory version of this in live service games. Stardew Valley isn't live service. It's just a game that has timers. A live service game is like it's very different. The constant like drip feed of new content that's constructed so that you can only access tiny bits of it at a time because they can only make so much, but you've got to keep hooked every week, you know? Stardew doesn't run while it's closed. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, then Animal Crossing. Whatever. You get the point. Regulations about it or something. What about limited time events like not Royal? I don't know. We're not discussing the specifics of the model. I just think that it's shit and it's bad. You know, that's it. I think it's doo-doo from a butt. All right. I think it's bad for the human psyche. I think it's bad for games in general. I don't think it facilitates. I don't think it begets good game. It's doo-doo garbage. I don't like it when games use FOMO. Yeah. But Vosh, isn't this kind of similar to your talk about South Korean social media being toxic? You said banning those wouldn't help. Nope, those are two completely different things because the underlying problem there was the socialization of men. And in this case, it is literally the game design that I'm talking about. It's not a cultural issue for Destiny 2 to be designed the way that it is. It's just the way it's designed. You should make a video. Oh, wait, sorry. You should go over a video saying Concord failed because it's woke. That would be fun. Oh, I'm sure. Like, you can... didn't Concord have, like, a non-binary character or something like that? So the robot in the new Concord game has gender identity. Okay. And that's on the Asmongold subreddit. He, him. The robot was he, him. Destiny 2 removed so much FOMO from the game, players are mad they don't have things to chase. Yeah, and I think those people have a spiritual sickness. I genuinely do, you know? I think that, like, the fact that people rely on game design like that, they're relying on, like, structure in their lives that they need to impose themselves, you know? They want to have little chores and tasks. You have them! There are dishes piled up in your sink. When was the last time you washed your bed sheets? You know? I don't like this way of like engaging with we would never expect or accept any of this in another form of media, right? Like you know, like a movie where you're required to pause and then continue watching the movie later. I guess TV shows have staggered release, but I think there's a meaningful difference between like sitting down for an episode of TV and then the next week there's another episode and like a million. I guess the main issue to me is that so many of the live service games are designed to be manipulative with your time in a million shitty little ways. That, to me, it's not like the big thing. It's not, oh, this week a new thing happens. It's that you log on and then here's your daily log on bonus. You now have like, here are your weeklies. Here are the little crafting materials that you only get a daily allotment of that you can now do. These mobs only respawn at this time and you can only do this within this time. And if you miss the time slot, you have to wait until tomorrow. And that means you're behind the gear. Like this and this and that. It's like 50 million little things that are all designed to interlock and make you feel stressed about missing out on stuff. Whereas if you miss out on an episode of TV, motherfucker, it's all streamed now. You can just watch it like tomorrow. It's not the same. It doesn't demand your time in the same way. Yeah, I agree. It exploits addiction and it imposes a kind of false structure that feels satisfying to adhere to, but in reality, it's very manipulative. Also, live service games eventually die, which hurts the preservation of art like movies and games. Yeah, does that ever, like, make you feel a little bit sad? I know we have WoW Classic now, but for live service games that go on for a while, a version of the game that used to exist literally no longer does and never can. You know? It will never exist again. If you have a regular game where it just releases and then that's the game, it's like, okay, that's the game. I can always go back and play that. But imagine all the classic games that you get to play today. Like, I don't know, Fallout New Vegas. I guess that's not really classic, right? That doesn't go back that far. But like Super Mario 64 or, you know, Super Mario World or like however far back you want to go. Fallout 1, Neverwinter, whatever you want to do, right? Imagine if that version of the game just didn't exist anymore. Like your childhood, the experience that you had when you were young, literally can't be accessed unless you have some... And not only can it not be accessed without modding, the modding might not work either, because if these games are live service, you can't just like create a version of it. You can't have like mod makers who just extract a version of it that was like what you played when you were young. You played an experience that was temporal. It only existed at that moment. This is why piracy is made. But piracy can't fix this. There is nothing that you can do to bring back like the way Final Fantasy 14 played back in 2017 or whatever. You cannot do it. You can play the content that was made at that time. You can like build out a version of the game that only has the content that was made up to that point in time, but you can't reconstruct the live service model, right? Couldn't you run a private server? Not necessarily. There are serious limits to that. Do you mean the balancing? Like, for you absolutely can with private servers. I know more than you, and I don't care to argue it with you, okay? I was playing World of Warcraft back when we were running Molten Core, okay? I don't need to hear it from you. I know exactly how this shit works. I know more than you! Me walking by you in, like, the Home Depot, and you're asking me if I need, like, new drill bits or whatever. I've got plans! Anyway, it does, that's, the balancing changes actually do meaningfully impact the game. I really, really loved how Resto Shaman played in Legion back in World of Warcraft. That version of playing the Shaman doesn't exist anymore. You can still play Resto Shaman, but every new expansion, they change the way the spells work, and you rearranges everything, you know? That version of the game cannot be played anymore, you know? Oh, but you can go in a private server and do it. Yeah? You gonna get 50,000 other people to join you in your private server to mimic the experience of playing raids at Endgame Legion as the Resto Shaman from Endgame Legion? You're just gonna bring the whole world with you because it's a live service game that requires always online connection, meaning you might be able to build an instance version of it that conforms to your will, but you can't bring the rest of the world with you? Think! Impermanence is a part of art. I kind of reject that. I think one of the nicest parts of the modern world is the fact that we can, like, that's an argument for never recording anything. Why have songs on a device, you know? You can just have music from a band that you listen to once, right? That's part of the art of it, you know? I don't know. It's just a little bit sad. It's a bad model of game. I just don't like it. Impermanence can be like part of an experience, but we're talking about a piece of media here, you know? Just because you don't like something doesn't mean it should be illegal. Disagree, actually. If I dislike something, it should be illegal. Thank you. Thank you. Waiter, more morally reductive arguments, please. Super, super manipulative live service model elements in games, I think, should be regulated. Because that shit... Yeah. But not all live service games have that element, right? Like Counter-Strike is a live service game to an extent, in the sense that you have the updates and the so on and so forth, but it's kind of a hands-off one, right? I mean, you're basically just playing an online multiplayer game. It's sort of like a sliding scale from you're basically just handling a online multiplayer game to you're having like daily chests that you open, you know? Like Genshin Impact, dude. You know, you people, you have no idea. Deep Rock and Warframe. There's a lot of stuff. Chest opening animations alone are very toxic and manipulative. Yeah. It's weird that I can play Nintendo 64 games, classic PlayStation games, Xbox, etc., but I can't play some games released in the past decade. Yeah, it is. It's genuinely quite strange. Yeah. Yeah. Just makes me sad to think about, I guess. Oh shit. Concord is the first game developed by Firewalk Studios, a studio located in Bellevue. That's right across the pond, Lake Washington. Is there really a way to make some live service games have any permanence, though? I'm not going to lie, man. I really just think you guys need to play more single-player games. You need to play more single-player games or multiplayer games that are literally just, I start a server, we play the game. The idea that every game has to be a massive $200 million event with constant, like, tweaking by the devs and balance changes and updates and new content, that's not sustainable. And I think it makes you miserable. All the people who say shit like, bro, gaming has gotten so tiring, and then you look at their Steam library, 2,400 hours played, Counter-Strike, Global Offensive, 623 hours played, PUBG. It's like, no wonder you keep playing. There's more games out there. There's no more money in single-player games. Literally incorrect. Like, objectively, factually incorrect. It's just that greedy finance guys keep chasing the biggest possible bag because they all want to be Fortnite or Overwatch or whatever. Didn't Wukong, Black Myth Wukong, just make $50 trillion? Elden Ring made $50 trillion? Baldur's Gate 3 made $50 trillion? Single player games have to be targeted to niche audiences. Disagree. Tons and tons and tons of people enjoy Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, that's a huge, 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 huge game. Admittedly, more of an event game, but even before they released multiplayer for Grand Theft Auto, you know, GTA 5 is online. You don't say shit like that unless you're willing to get banned over it. GTA 5 released as a single player experience. GTA 5 online released later in its full state. The popularity of GTA 5 is an endorsement of the popularity of single player games. They yearn for the slop. But it doesn't have to be super huge AAA either. Yeah, I don't know, John Paul 238. People just like being contrarian. The swift shutdown was attributed to several factors: failure to differentiate itself from established hero shooter games like Overwatch and Apex Legends. Critics highlighted that Concord lacked innovative gameplay mechanics, with its character roster described as generic and its map design frustrating. The game also faced criticism for being a full-price release in a genre where most competitors are free-to-play. Ugh. Also, we should get rid of free-to-play games. They shouldn't exist. I mean it. If you're not buying the game, they're getting their money from somewhere else, and it's probably through a more deceptive and predatory practice. Yeah, free-to-play encourages predatory bullshit. You might think like, oh, I'll just play free-to-play, but somewhere out there, there's somebody who's being victimized through your, like, let's be real here, greed, your laziness. Like, you're thinking, oh, I'll just play free to play. I have discipline. Not everyone does, man. And this is like a really predatory model where it's like some guy out there is emptying his savings account to keep playing Warframe. Like, I get you don't want to pay, but because you're not paying, they're now endorsing a model that, like, some people are really vulnerable to it, you know? Do you enjoy playing video games? I mean it. I think there's a really big distinction between, like, waking up in the morning where you have time off and you think, oh, I'm excited to do this thing, versus the like, oh, I have this thing to do in the game. The difference between playing a section in a video game and being invested and engaged, and playing it and going like, yep, I'm checking the boxes that I have to do. I remember getting into cycles with World of Warcraft where I would think, wow, I've gotten so good at this game that I got everything done that I can do today in like 2 hours, and I've basically cleared my weeklies too. Like, I just did like Mythic plus 17 and all the dungeons or whatever. I just got all the loot drops I need, the crafting material stuff. I've completed all of the like local like world events or whatever. And I did it so efficiently. And it's like, efficiently? Is that what I'm doing this for? Because I wasn't excited for a moment during any of that. Like, I guess it's impressive and I'm proud of myself for doing really well. And I was pretty good at WoW when I was good at WoW. But, you know, that's not really the same as having fun, being excited. It's like the difference between watching a TV show where you're kind of engrossed in it and having just some reality TV TLC slop show playing on the second monitor while you're doing something else, right? Like, you're just... Sometimes things fill time and sometimes they excite you. I'm gonna have Disco Elysium or Outer Wilds or whatever stuck in my head forever, but I can barely remember any specific moments from playing World of Warcraft Legion, and the only moments that I do remember were the social ones, helping my guild beat heroic kill Jaden. You know, I remember that because it took a while, because some of those guys were not on my level. It took a while. I was raid leading and main healing without dungeon boss mods, by the way. I was just raw dogging that information straight up here. I was like, according to my calculations, in 4.8 seconds, you're all going to need to move to the center, star, star, star. You know, I know my shit. Those are the moments that I remember, the social ones. But do I remember the hundreds of hours of me, like, efficiently clearing all of the mundane chores the game gave me? No, 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 genuinely no. I remember the best parts of Hollow Knight. I remember the whole game pretty damn well, because the whole game's pretty good. Art games that have like a really compelling narrative or are very experientially interesting, like Disco Elysium or Outer Wilds, or plenty others, you know? There are lots of parts of Doom Eternal that I remember because that game was so sick that there were moments that stuck with me. But then there are games where it's just like, oh yeah, man, just spent another 8 hours playing, you know, WoW or whatever else. That was great. If you're doing stuff like that, it's got to be social, but it's not always social. Dark Souls? Yeah, God, I have so many memories from my first time playing Dark Souls. I remember taking forever to get past that bonfire in Undeadburg, the one where you have to cross that narrow bridge and they throw the firebombs at you and then you enter the room and there are two of them with a sword. You know what I mean? You know the one I'm talking about, right? Like right at the beginning. When I first played Dark Souls, that was my first FromSoft game. It took me forever to get past that area because it was like, dude, holy shit, they literally kill you in 3 hits. What the like, oh my God. Like, I remember there are so many fond memories from that. Yeah. The skeletons that have shields that are on the ramparts underneath the bridge when you're trying to scoot along them, and then you get past the last one and a rat comes out of the sewer. Remember? And the rat comes out of the sewer and 2 hits from the rat poison you. So you're trying to get back up there and you try to like dodge roll the rat, but it's hard because it's kind of like low. And if you try to swing too big, you hit the wall to your right. So you get hit twice and you're poisoned, and you don't have moss at this point in the game. So you're just like, that's like 3 Estus down. You know, I remember this. It was all constructed so well that it stuck with me for a long time after. I'm probably gonna, it's embarrassing. I'm gonna remember it like probably until I die. Like I'm gonna be, I don't know, 78 years old, laying on my deathbed, and I'm gonna be thinking, damn, that was a good ass game. I think that's cool. I like that about good art. And I think that we should make an effort to seek out art that engages us that much, you know? Yeah, back rolling off the cliff, trying to run back from the rat, finding that the ladder drops down and you reconnect with that bonfire that's right before the bridge. It's wild how I can remember almost all the enemy placements in Souls games / Elden Ring, because the game makes you remember it, right? In the dungeony areas of Elden Ring especially. I remember that about the original Castlevania too. Every enemy placement was very deliberate in that game, whereas I don't really remember enemy placement as much in, you know, the lesser Metroidvanias. Like when you're playing Kino shit, like Hollow Knight or Blasphemous 1 to a lesser extent, but still good. The enemy placements are really memorable because it's like, oh, their ability just perfectly makes it difficult to do this thing that I need to do to get past them. They're not just like obstacles that take a second to go through, you know? Okay, just a little bit. I'm not gonna, okay, because I'm mostly just curious. What does Kino mean? It just means like cinema. It's all good. The audience, okay, just a little bit, okay? I'm not gonna do well at this, by the way. There's no chance I do well at this. I don't have a good memory. I remember parts of Elden Ring. I don't remember the whole map. Are you kidding me? It's huge. Full map? Okay. Game length 5. Sure. Okay. It's better if you're not good. I suppose that's true. I'm not looking at... I'm going to open a new tab over my VGG feed so that I can't look at chat. I'm going to try my... Oh, well, come on now. Okay, well, we're clearly on the Altus Plateau, right? Place pin on a map. Okay. Altus Plateau. We're quite close, but we're out of the... This is like near the area where you fight that dragon, right? Oh, the map looks so strange with... Oh, hold on. There. The map looks so strange when you cut out all the areas that you can't traverse. Okay. So we've got walls over here and walls over here. Big... Where are you sandwiched between these two? Hold on. Is this like on the path to the Thorned Castle place? Like something... That's the real air tree, right? That's not one of the lesser air trees. That has to be the real air tree. Oh wait, there's a compass. So the air tree is to the east. That is the real air tree, right? I'm not like being a fool over here. I certainly hope I'm not being a fool. Okay, so the air tree is like directly to the east then. So yeah, it has to be over here then. It has to be on the path up to the... So I'm going to guess right here then. Nope, totally off. Oh, that's not the real air tree. That's the fake air tree. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. This is the lesser one. I'm not even looking at chat. I feel like such a fool. My face is red. Okay, let me redeem myself. Let me redeem myself. Okay, we're in the what's the name of this area down here again? We're in this area. Yeah, there's the... Wait, no, are we in... Oh no, we're in Caelid. We're in Caelid. We're not in the lesser area thingy. I don't know the names of things. And we're by the tower. Is that the tower? Or is that just a tower? I think that's the tower. That's the one where you first fight the, the Godskin Apostle. Well, that's where I first fought him on my playthrough, because I hadn't yet gone to the plateau. Yeah, see, over there, that's the area, that's the run-up to the... Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's the run-up to Redmane Castle. And that's the... Is that what the top of Redmane Castle looks like? It's got to be that big building in the end where you take the elevator down, right? So that would put us right here, right? Like right... Yeah, okay, I'm sending it. Okay. I'll take that. I'll take that. Okay. Hello, Altus. Okay, well this is a bit... That's easier. Thank you for giving me like some Altus Plateau redemption then. We are... They literally have the big horses right here. How far up the bridge are we? Yeah, we're on the first approach. So it's got to be somewhere right here. How close are we? Can I pin down like an exact... There's like a flat space right to our west. So... And this is directly to our south. So yeah, it's got to be... Or is it here? Are these the first? Yeah, they are the first horses. So it's here. Flat space to the west, things directly to the south. And we're looking off of a cliffside. Not really, but northeast is that. So yeah, it's got to be right here, right? Like I'm splitting hairs. 38 meters away. That's close enough. That's close enough. Easy. That one was too easy. We need a more difficult. Well, we're right next to a landmark. Okay. This one's harder, right? The lakes, because it's all kind of like wide and a little bit indistinct. Okay, so the air tree is directly northeast, which it's going to be from any direction here because it's far enough away that's how perspective works. Okay, what about anything else? The university is northwest, so we're somewhere in this ballpark. How close are we to the ruins? Wait, can I move around? I can move around? Well, that might actually be helpful for this one. Okay, wait, here, hold on. Almost directly north is this lesser air tree, but by quite a distance. So if this lesser air tree is almost directly north, and the university is almost directly northwest, that means the most logical place for me to be would be, like, right around here, right? Somewhere in this area? How close am I to a cliff? The cliff would be directly to my east? Then, wait. It's not just north. It's a little northeast. So I guess I'm more here? A little more... How close am I to the broken bridge? You know, I'm in this area. I feel like if I get too prissy with it, I'm going to be here for too long. It's not quite northwest either. It's northwest-west. So turn north-northwest. So slightly more north than west. So probably south of the bridge. Right here. I'm just going to send it. You know, it's like an indistinct. All right, we're not calling anything crazy on that one. Last round, and then back to Liurnia. But this one's a lot easier because we're, you know, I don't think I've ever looked at it from this angle. Okay, well, the upper arch where the boulder fucks you is directly to the west. So, and that's that upper arch right there. So it's definitely somewhere here. Somewhere in this strip right here. That's a guarantee. I'm right next to a ruin. Open space directly northwest. That'd be here. Okay, so somewhere right here then. And the ruin that I'm right next to is south-southwest. So ruin, that could be this one right here, I'm guessing. Ruin right here, south-southwest. How close am I to this relative to... Okay. So if it's south-southwest, what if I'm right here? Please? Okay, it was this one, not this one. Wait, didn't I initially say it was this one and then I moved to this one when I'm dumb. Because this one's directly east of the... Ah, well, you know what? It's okay. It's the sentiment that counts. So anyway, this shouldn't have been a thing. Okay, the point of all of this is that video games are good, but you have to make them good for them to be good. Okay, we're moving on. Point proven. Good video games are good. Okay, I'm opening